What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Triple Double Podcast, our season finale. My name is Ashanti Lee Seaborn, and I'm joined by my man, the GOAT, the legend, Romero Hardy Jr. Rome, how's it going, my brother?
Man, everything's good, man. Everything's lovely. You know what I'm saying? Big Rumsky over here working a big boy job now. I'm in the corporate world, people. I'm in the corporate world.
Yeah,
I'm working downtown Detroit right now, man. It's beautiful, actually.
Huh?
I said it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I get the chance to have lunch with all the who's, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, nice.
So it's nice. Life is nice.
I'm happy for you, my brother. But, oh, man. I mean, season finale. Have you heard of season finales of shows and this and that? Now, I know our podcast hasn't been weekly, but still, unlike the competitors, we've actually had shows more than them. So this is our season finale for season number 1. I'm ready to jump right into it, my man. I don't know about you, but...
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Let's rock and roll. I've been ready for a couple weeks.
First topic on business, obviously happening a couple of weeks ago, the Toronto Raptors defeating the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. Game 6 happening at the Oracle, the last game in that building. Somewhat of a non-fitting end, but at the same time, it is what it is. The Warriors obviously dealing with injuries to Durant, Thompson, Iguodala was banged up. Still, even in that game, Rome, on a fast note, I mean, Steph Curry had a shot to, I think, win the game at the end, missed off, and they also, Draymond Green pulled a Chris Webber, called a timeout with either Draymond or Steph, I think it was Draymond, called the TO with no
it was 4 remaining. People calling a timeout. I don't want to, hump on something a lot of Michigan fans trying to say there.
Right.
As far as you could put it, but it was 4 people trying to call a timeout. It wasn't Draymond alone.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's a Michigan thing, calling TOs when you ain't got either it's U of M or MSU grads. I don't know, but at the same time, what are your thoughts on that game? Obviously, it's been a few weeks, I believe, since that game. But what are your thoughts? What are your expectations going in that series? Are you shocked? Are you excited? What's your main?
I mean, the series is pretty much how I expected it to go with what the Warriors had to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of NBA fans would say that if the Warriors were at full strength, and that means a healthy KD going into the playoffs, a healthy Klay, and even a Boogie that did not get hurt in the first 4 minutes of the playoffs, this whole series would have been different. Yeah. I mean, Warriors in 5, But working with what they had...
Yes, sir. I forgot about Boogie, too. I forgot about Boogie,
They gave it all they could. They gave it all they could, and they did not quit. So that's one thing that I appreciate about the series was that the Warriors could have easily folded.
Right.
When Klay went out in game, 4, I believe? Because he missed game 5 and came back game 6. When he went out in game 4, they could have folded, but they fought their butt off in game 5, won that just to even push it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the heart that they showed. They really showed the heart of a true champion, but that takes nothing away from the Raptors. The Raptors came on and did what they had to do. They played great basketball. Van Fleet balled.
Right.
Pascal balled. Kyle Lowry balled for about 5 minutes of the playoffs. But hey, his 5 minutes is huge.
All you need is fire.
I've never been a big Kyle Lowry fan, but I was, the Warriors, they tried. I think the biggest winner of the series was Drake. And I think that's what you have to rock with. I mean, it's good for the city of Toronto to get their first one. But outside of that, I don't think many NBA fans go Raptors. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the people who were anti-Warriors for so long, but the Raptors aren't a
household name.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. Like I said, the biggest winner of the series is Drake. You know what I'm saying? People him more than they watched the Raptors.
Right.
So that's just my take on the series. It was good basketball for sure. I just wish it was 4-strength team versus 4-strength team.
I obviously big ups to the Toronto Raptors on their victory. You said it was big for the city. No, it was big for the country. Because they had a country rooting for them. It's not just a city anymore. It's not 1996. And, you got Vancouver across the country. It's the Raptors is the only show in town in terms of NBA. So big ups to them on that. Just a quick thing about the Warriors' loss. I agree with you. They showed a lot of heart in their defeat. I think, in terms of Kevin Durant making a comeback and trying to play while hurt, whether that was his choice or that was more so you heard reports about, I guess, doctors within the team trying to, I guess force him to, not force him, but like put that little pressure on him to play. That the conversation of trusting, team health professionals is gonna be one to be discussed because Kevin Durant tore his Achilles in that game, and he'll be out. They're saying for the vast majority of next season. He's on a new team now, and we'll discuss that
for sure.
a little bit later. But yeah, they're projected he's going to be out for the vast majority of next season. We saw this with Isaiah Thomas in 2017 on the Celtics when he came back in the playoffs when he's even admitted he really didn't feel that all that healthy, but the team doctors were kind of saying, hey, ID, we could really use you out there. LeBron, them are killing us. We could really use you out there. I think of last season with Kawhi, who's all of a sudden Mr. Superman this year now, but last year he was the Joker. He was Mr. Villain. He quit on our team. I never faulted him for that. Because how are you going to tell somebody that they're not feeling pain if they're telling you that they feel pain? I understand the thing is fake. I get it. But Kawhi Leonard, to me, did not seem like the type of athlete who quit on his teammates. He just didn't. So I think the discussion that we had recently about team medical professionals in those locker rooms who are really working, it's not even are really, who are working for the team. They're not working for the players. Okay, let's get that clear. I've been debating this on Twitter with a bunch of local yokels for the past year, 2 years now, ever since the IT thing. They don't work for the players. They work for the team. The team writes the checks that they cash and feed their families with. The team writes the checks in which they send their kids off to school with and all that. So the team is taking care of the professionals. They don't have an obligation to Isaiah Thomas or Kawhi or Kevin Durant. So with that in mind, just a closing note on the finals. Obviously, big up to the Raptors. I think the conversation about these team professional medical people is going to get really more intense now because now it's like, do we trust them? And now do we trust them even if we are hurt and they give us a diagnosis that we're healthy to go? Do we just 110% go with their word? Or do we go get a second opinion? And if that second opinion says otherwise, who do we believe? So I think that conversation has been up ever since Isaiah Thomas, because I don't remember that conversation being up before IT came back, and IT talking about, as a free agent, you're going to need the Brinks truck. Now, back in the day, everybody assumed that Brinks truck was going to be full of $100 bills. Instead, it's ones. So, it's unfortunate, but he trusted his team's doctor, and it was a mistake. He paid for it. So it's going to be a bigger discussion, but big ups to the Raptors. It was a big win. Much congrats on your championship. And, enjoy having the six.
I'm going to flip something in, though, real quick.
Right.
KD did see his own physician. He actually went to an outside doctor from the team.
Okay.
I think a lot of people really, really, really feed too much into what is said on TV for entertainment and not on the real facts. It's hard for me to say that the doctors are like, you know what, bro, go out there and play, man. Like,
well,
tear your ACL. No, I really don't. And then for KD to actually go get a second opinion, like KD is a baller. So the same way that Clay was looking at Game 5 when he didn't play, like people actually have memes of that, him sitting on the bench looking salty. He has never missed a playoff game.
Right.
So KD is the same exact way. They want to play ball. So you can't. No doctor is going to stop KD from playing ball.
I'm not saying that.
From playing ball.
Right.
I just think he's seen multiple doctors. It wasn't just team doctors, and I just really hate how people attack just that whole organization. The Warriors have one of the best health teams in the league, actually. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they're well respected across the board in terms of their doctors and trainers and what they do in terms of their staff. I just think a lot of people harped on that, and they were waiting for it, too. That's all I got to say.
Well said. Welcome back to the Triple Double Podcast. We're moving on to our next topic, which is the NBA Draft, which took place a couple weeks ago, I believe. Rome, this draft had some very high heaviness. I mean, this draft arguably had the most hyped athlete since LeBron James. I mean, he's more hyped than Derrick Rose was, more hyped than Lonzo Ball, more hyped than John Wall with Dougie out of Kentucky. So, I mean, his name is Zion Williamson. Really quick, I guess starting on this topic with Zion going to the New Orleans Pelicans at number 1. This is the most hyped, as I said, this is the most hyped athlete that has come out of the draft since LeBron James in 2003. And you look at Zion Williamson, he's very similar. He's built, he's a big dude, a lot of body mass, a lot of muscle. He's fast. But as I say with all of these hyped athletes, you're only one, knee injury away from being a bust. And I know that's depressing. I know that's sad, but I mean, I'm just being real. Like a lot of these,
I agree with you.
Right. I mean, a lot of these athletes get all this hype, and some of them, have made, have lived up. You look at John Wall. Before his injuries, he's been an all-star caliber player. You look at, even like Lonzo Ball, he's not been, I guess, as high as his overtly loud father has projected him to be, but he's a solid defensive player. He's a solid, nice player who's still young and time to grow. But in the cases like the only real case I can think of, not as hyped as these guys, but hyped nonetheless, is Greg Oden. And Greg Oden, his case falls directly into what I'm talking about. Greg Oden, out of Ohio State, was considered the next Bill Russell by multiple. And I remember watching this in middle school. He's the next Bill Russell. He'll be that great. But his knees did not agree. Oden is now playing in the Big Three, which is a great league. I'm not trying to rag on the Big Three, but at the same time, it's, as I say, you can be as hyped and as, I guess, favored to succeed. And I'm always a big fan of these young brothers out here making this money and succeeding. I love that. But as I say, with every single one of those guys who comes out, you're only one knee injury away. Nowadays, you're only one sexual assault accusation away. You're only one, like marijuana possession away. You're only one domestic assault away.
Take that last one back.
No. Look at Tyreke Evans.
He's still got a big contract though. Like, you can't bring up the marijuana and you still offer to do $120 million. Like, he's okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, we can debate that a different time, but I'm just saying, you're one major negative news story away from being a nobody. And I love Zion. He seemed like a great kid. He's going down to New Orleans. Have a lot of gumbo down there, a lot of big food, even get bigger. Happy for him. Guys like, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett, those big names. But I mean, me personally, Rome, I don't have much on the draft. It's for me, these guys haven't proven anything yet. I mean, I gotta see them on the court. So happy for them all. Looking forward to seeing what they do for their respective teams. I mean, what you guys say about it, man? I other than Zion, I'm kind of I guess neutral on the whole event.
Yeah. I'm just saying, we could just honestly, I'm just going to piggyback off your topic real quick, which is the Zion thing. I agree 1,000% with you. Like, personally, I'm probably one of the few people that's not actually high on Zion.
Oh, really?
I don't, he's never seen anything like it. Like, I get it. Dude's a beast. I've seen him face to face. Like, I've literally seen every bit of man he is with my own two eyes. My thing is this. I also want to slip in that he wore the same suit as LeBron to the draft. Thought that was funny. But you're carrying 285 pounds.
Yep.
Like, that is, first off, that's just a lot for me. And in this NBA, if we could see him do it, he'd be in a class of his own.
Right.
Like you said, being that heavy, you get the slightest injury and that's it. And when you were going through number one draft picks, you skipped over Anthony Bennett, who I would almost compare Zion to.
Oh, like stop. Okay.
Anthony Bennett, I'm just saying body type. I'm saying body
Wait.
type. I'm saying.
Okay, okay. I was going to say.
Type. I think they're both power forwards. Zion's getting away with playing a 3.
Okay.
He can probably play 3 or 4. But I think Anthony Bennett still had the same stature as a Zion.
Okay.
My biggest thing with Zion is, yeah, he's probably more talented than Deshaun Kemp. But if that's all you want for about 4 or 5 years, then do it. Like, the Pelicans do it. I don't consider Zion a generational player. I don't see him playing 10+ years. It's so early. I don't want to say he's not. I can't not call him a Hall of Famer, but like, I don't foresee it myself. I just think he'll be in the bunch, give you a couple highlights. I think he's a roamer. I haven't really seen him run an offense yet. Like, even at Duke, he was pretty much just backdooring and using his body.
He's like,
more so just like, throw it up and I'll catch it. You know what I'm saying? If he's coming down the court, he's using his body and muscling it through. I haven't seen him actually run a full court offense. Right. And when I seen him do it in college, it's my alma mater and yours, he struggled a little bit.
Right.
So I just think that at that point where he gets down into having to put his play back against the basket and getting doubled in the paint, I want to see how he adjusts to that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how he adjusts to getting banged by bullies. Like, because he was the biggest person in college. He won't be the biggest guy in the NBA.
No, he won't.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it comes down to for me. Everyone else across the board in the draft, congrats, tip my hats off to everyone that got drafted. Shouts out to Ja. Shouts out to the unsignees that got their chance. Hopefully they make it. Mm-hmm. But this draft this year, unlike many years in the past, was pretty boring. You know, it was, you had your first 2, 3, RJ in there.
Yeah, first 3. Yeah.
And after that, it was pretty much. I didn't even like the dude from UV, Darius Gardner or whatever.
Oh, Garland, yeah.
What? You know what I'm saying? Like, guys like that. You know.
Yeah.
Very anticlimactic.
Just really quickly, one story that I kind of felt, I guess, sympathetic for was Bol because he was projected to be a lottery pick. And when you're projected that high, they put you in the green room. They put you in the little place where you, your family, maybe even your friends and coaches sit and wait. So imagine being projected to be called within the first 14 picks. You don't get picked until the 14th pick of the second round. I mean, I remember him sitting there, and I get it because I look at him, and all I see written across him is just bad knees waiting to happen. That's all I see. No. And
huh?
Yeah.
His dad is, that runs in the family. His dad is
Right. Manu Ball, exactly. He had bad knees. So I understand why the Miami Heat, I guess he was there. I mean, it's like in 2K when you're playing this and the draft projects of these guys and he's there in the second round. Listen, I'm a gamer. And he's there in the second round. You just take him because he would be number, 14 or whatever. Right. He was there. He was there. It's a second round pick. It's minimal money. He was there. But just a small thing. I hope he does well. And he's in Denver now. He got drafted by the Heat and got traded to Denver. So I'm rooting for him. Hopefully, I'm wrong about me looking at him just seeing two bad knees waiting to happen. But time will tell on that one. But welcome back to the Triple Double Podcast, final segment of the finale. Talking about the recent developments in NBA, the free agent market. Let's talk about, I guess, I'll start off on one of the bigger topics, Rome, involving your team, involving my shirt's team, the Los Angeles Lakers. Their guys trading Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Ingram, and a lot of picks. I mean, a lot of picks for Anthony Davis. Now, obviously, one may look at this deal and say, wow, Lakers got fleeced. They gave up too much. But at the end of the day, I agree with a lot of the analysts. If you are the Lakers and you just came off of one of the more embarrassing, dramatic, I guess, more so how I call it, more so bold and the beautiful seasons of all time, you had to get a marquee guy. AD is that guy, and they got him. So, I mean, my take on it is, good for them. We'll see how it pans out. Rome, you being Mr. Purple and Gold, what's your opinion on the whole?
Man, it's ironic that it happens year by year, but last year around this time, when I got the alert that LeBron was signing with the Lakers, I jumped so high my head hit the ceiling. and I've never been a big LeBron fan. This year around, I'm on my phone, and I obviously, we thought it might happen, but
right. It's never a sure thing.
Right. And, man, when I seen it, I was like, oh, we got AD. And that was, the only thing I read at first. And I was like, oh, dope. We're about to be balling, so cool.
Right.
Oh,
you never think about, wait a minute.
And I kept going down. I'm like, oh, they didn't let go of Lonzo, Josh, Ingram, and these many picks. I was like, oh, boy. I literally had to step back. I went from excited to, because we talk, I like Lonzo Ball. I like the younger core guys. I wanted to keep them. Right. I think you got to let these guys fan out. I hope it doesn't come back to bite us. But with the team that they have, and a guy like LeBron, and then he's in win now. So everything that happened last year, as much as I love that team, and I think healthy they would have made some noise.
Right.
He's in win now. A lot of those guys need time to come into their own.
Right.
And it was showing with the people that they let go. Although I would have probably tried to keep Josh Hart, but he was probably one of the most sad to give up.
Well,
outside of that, outside of him, everyone else had to develop. Lonzo's still developing. B.I. still developing. He has to even grow into his body. He's only 21 years old. And the only one that they decided to keep was Kuz, and I'm happy with that. I was like, geez, at least they didn't clean up house. But I was excited. I just think it's win now move for sure for the Lakers, and anything short of a Western Conference Finals next season is disappointing, especially with the NBA. No KD, no Clay. Come on, the West is wide open. Warriors dynasty's kind of somewhat over. Anything short of a Western Conference Finals
is a disappointment.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I was seriously. But here's my thing. I'm gonna wait till you bring up the free agent that we want to talk about.
Right.
We need a complete team.
Right.
We need a complete. There's 3 guys on the roster right now.
Right. Well, yeah, there's 3 guys. Well, here's okay. Well, I'll mention his name right now. His name is Kawhi Leonard. That's the free agent that I guess you're waiting on me to name. What's up, guys? Ashanti Lee Sebron from the Triple Double Podcast here. And of course, as I am editing our season finale, Mr. Kawhi Leonard has finally made his decision. He's heading to the Los Angeles Clippers. Alongside of that, he's receiving Paul George. Paul George being traded from the OKC Thunder to the Clippers. I would have liked for this to have happened during our show, but of course, as I'm editing this and as I'm getting around family obligations on the holidays, this goes down. So once again, I'm gonna add this in the video, and big ups to the Clippers. Ought to be an amazing season in the city of Los Angeles for basketball, but oh boy, let's get it going. Now, they sure signed Tyronn Lue. I'm with that. Frank Vogel's he's really a yes man here. They do have a good assistant coaching staff in Jason Kidd. I think Lionel Hollins is there, former Memphis coach who got them in the playoffs when they had Grit City or Grind City. So it's I don't know. Even if they don't get AD, you have Kawhi. You have $32 million. Then you can sign guys like a Danny Green or just other.
But see, look,
other
you can't
decent
even
guys.
name them. You can't name them because the Lakers missed out on it. This is why I'm going to go right back to this real quick.
Okay.
I don't want Kawhi because of, like you just said, if we do get him, you're spending all that money on bums.
Well,
so when one of the major guys go down, like, no, they're going to be bums, bro. Like, let's not sugarcoat it.
all right.
When one of those major guys go down, like they did last year, you had a bunch of 1 year older guys on the team. What happened? You fell out your 4th seed. So take that 32 and surround it with tier 2, tier 3 guys, right? Instead of them doing that, they were waiting to the last minute. They were waiting to see what Kawhi does and missed out on all these players. JJ Redick, shooter that LeBron needs, Malcolm Brogdon, a point guard, guys like that. Chandler, you're literally just sitting back, waiting and losing out on guys. So by the time you do or do not get Kawhi, it's too late to even complete your team out. Like, that's why they should have. After AD, that's it. Closing shop. You know what I'm saying? Let's get everybody else going.
I can see that.
It was like Kawhi. I feel like people are gonna hate when I say I don't want Kawhi. It's not that I don't want a top-notch guy. Like, everyone wants the best player on their team.
Right.
I used to not like LeBron, but I wanted him on my team. In this situation, it doesn't work like that because I've seen what happened last year with that. Like, when we did get LeBron, we didn't surround him with the people he needed. We used all that money to sign him, and then gave Rondo 1 year.
Right.
Lance
Stevenson,
1 year. JaVale McGee 1 year. Everybody was 1 year, 2.5 deals to just complete the team out instead of you getting talented role players. I would have gave Pat Bev a contract.
Yeah.
I would have gave
Chris
Middleton. I would have offered. I mean, there's so many guys. Like, we talked about the free agents on our last show. There were so many people they could have threw money at.
Yeah.
And I felt like the Lakers, for me in the free agency, it's been a bust. As a fan, because they haven't made any moves, made no noise. They're trying to sit back and get this big fish, where you can get 10 fish that equals that one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I felt.
I know. I get that logic. I definitely understand. The point. Because as I said, if you get Leonard, all you're gonna be able to afford is a minimum contract guy. So you're getting guys like maybe even Iguodala, who
I'll take him.
Right.
I think that we're talking about that.
If he gets bought out, he gets his money anyway. So he's getting an extra $1.5 million just to be on the team. That's go. That's cool for him. He's getting his money anyway. But yeah, you may sign guys like a DeLon Wright, a Joakim Noah. Him and LeBron getting put together. So it's but guys like that. So I understand it. But as we're talking about a potential super
Paul
team,
Gasol's available. I would get Paul Gasol. Like, there's so many people.
Either or. As we're discussing super teams, we have to discuss, I guess, the most recent one that maybe no more, as you touched on Rome, the Golden State Warriors, them trading away Durant, really losing him, but getting something back in a silent trade. Very fortunate on their part. Receiving D'Angelo
They're
Russell.
smart, man. The Warriors are smart upstairs in the front office.
receiving D'Angelo Russell from the Brooklyn Nets. Rome, when seeing this trade go down, obviously, well, I mean, you do you, but I'm gonna discuss more. Who's to blame in Durant leaving? For me, it's clear cut. But I mean, what was your main thought on when this trade went down? I mean, I call it a trade. It's really a fortunate sign and trade. It's really Durant's generosity, right?
Boston and Cleveland,
right?
The Kyrie move.
Right. So, what was your thoughts on
it?
Nothing.
It was not. I'm not even. I was trying to think of a clever Brooklyn line to say and open up with. But to be honest with you, it was almost a head scratcher. It was like Brooklyn. Like, even though people knew, but like even just to like hear like Brooklyn, like they're going to Brooklyn, the Nets, like the Nets. But everyone, like I told one of my friends, everyone knew it was New York.
Right.
Like I told you before the segment started, it could have been the Knicks. They never said which one they were going to go to.
Right.
I've been saying Kyrie was going to New York for the past 3 years. Just because I had a little bit of a scoop. That was already a done deal. Whether it was going to be the Knicks or Brooklyn.
Right.
The KD move was the one that got me. Because that one, it happened so quick, so it meant that him and Kyrie were talking already. He didn't really take time to, like, that's what I'm saying, it happened so he didn't take time to really think about it. Maybe he didn't have to because he's going to be kind of out for a year. But Brooklyn, like, I was just like, they're going to Brooklyn? But they're about to be nice. I mean, when I seen the trade go through,
right,
I thought about the rest of their team in Brooklyn and what they did this last year in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah. Because, listen, the only piece they're losing is D'Angelo Russell, but they're replacing with Kyrie and KD. I mean, and they got, and they fought the Sixers, putting tooth and nail in that series. So I'm like, you replace D'Angelo with Kyrie, and you basically add on KD. I mean, it's not fair. It's fair, but it's funny. Really fast on Golden State. I completely agree. My take is Draymond Green completely ruined this for Golden State, because I do feel that if we were to go back in time to October, when our show started, and ask Durant, he would say, I don't really know. After the incident in which he and Draymond Green had the argument on the bench, in which Draymond was being completely and utterly disrespectful to this man, saying things like, we don't need you, and we won without you, if you leave, it doesn't matter. That it was no place for that. And I think that
we don't know what KD said to Draymond on the court.
We don't know. All I know is
KD called him a bum, N-word. That's disrespectful.
Listen.
Bum, what I'm saying?
All I know is what Draymond said, because I could read it. I could read Draymond's lips on the bench when it happened. I'm with you. We don't know how that all started, but at the same time, you do have to agree there has to be some level of professionalism in some sense. There's a line you don't cross. There's a certain line you don't talk about on both sides. I understand that, but there's a certain line, not even as bad players, as men, you don't cross. My thing with that whole thing, my whole thing with that is Draymond has fault, but there was another point I was gonna make about KD and the Warriors, and I'm thinking about him going off more so recently about how he never really felt appreciated in that town, how he could win all the accolades, all the Finals MVPs he wanted to. It would always be Steph Curry's town. He should have known that walking in there. Now, that's the one thing about him I really kind of look at him sideways about, because I'm like, you left your team, OKC, to join these guys, knowing that it's exactly how LeBron and D Wade was. LeBron joined the Heat in 2010. LeBron James was the man on that team. I mean, Dwayne Wade, his knees were going bad. He would, I think he's few years older than LeBron, but that was always Wade County. That was always Dwayne Wade's team. LeBron's the best player, but it's D Wade's team. And, I mean, so if I'm Durant, I understood walking in. I'm the best guy here, but it's Steph Curry's team. He got drafted. I mean, heck, his draft was the beginning of the Warriors' renaissance. Before him, they were really outside of that one lone season which they made the playoffs and the We Believe Warriors. The Warriors were a laughingstock. But Steph Curry getting drafted there changed everything for them. So if I'm Durant, I hate that quote about him saying, I didn't feel appreciated. It was already Steph's team or those reports. Because if that was the case, you knew that walking in. You had a team in OKC in which you were the man. Okay? Nobody for a second thought that Westbrook was better than Durant. He had a higher killer instinct, sure. But in terms of talent, he wasn't better than KD. So
he might be a killer, but he don't close.
Right,
sure.
Exactly. So my thing with that comment was a little off kilter because I didn't understand why that was coming out saying oh, I didn't feel appreciated. It's not your team. It's Steph's team. It's how it always is. Just how the Cavaliers, if you're Kyrie Irving, you're hitting the game-winning shot in Game 7 of the finals in Oracle against the Warriors. It doesn't matter how many game-winning shots you make. It's LeBron's team. He's the hometown boy. He's the guy. But now he's in Brooklyn alongside Kyrie Irving.
That's going to happen again, though. Huh? That's going to happen again in terms of Kyrie. I think it's going to be.
That's the point, right? That's the point I was trying to get to in a little bit, but I'll start it now. I'm looking at Durant and Irving. Now I'm saying this: if you're Kevin Durant, you're a better player than Kyrie. Now, obviously, right now you're not with the Achilles. You're gonna probably be out for the vast majority of the year. I do feel that obviously without Durant, they're making the playoffs. And if he comes back 110%, even toward the end of the season, they're going to be a dangerous team regardless of what seed they are in the playoffs. But I'm with you. And I'll ask you, seeing as how you brought it up, do you think that if Durant makes it back 100% and it's still the same Durant, do you think that will cause any friction between him and Kyrie based on talent levels?
Most definitely. When the deals went through, everything was good on paper. You got 2 All-Stars or whatever. You got your 2 superstars. You got your almost big 3 or your big 2.
Right.
But no one ever talks about when you make teams like that and you have a big 3 or a big 2, there's egos in play.
Yeah.
And right now, I see 2 guys that want the ball. Like, at the end of the day, when the game's on the line, they both shoot the blood out the ball. Who's shooting it? Who? Like, literally who? Like, I know Kyrie will probably pass it to KD.
Right.
But guess what? KD will not probably reciprocate because he's taking that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, I just think it's going to be lovely for that first year because KD might not be there most of it. But when they start getting into the meat and beans of their tenure there in Brooklyn, I'm interested to see how it plays out. They were obviously friends from like USA and Team USA basketball, but it's always like moving in with one of your guy friends that you've been cool with. It's tough. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were boys. When you live with someone, every little thing they do.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know that analogy very well.
And so for KD, his biggest thing was not feeling a part of that team, and maybe he feels closer with Kyrie, but you might have a rude awakening for you, boy. Because Kyrie, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie, is it going to be this last playoff Kyrie that's playing in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I definitely don't want that in Brooklyn.
No.
The guy that was janking up 18 shots and just kept shooting. You know what I'm saying? Clean. I need the Kyrie from Cleveland. That one was more of a defer type of guy. But when Kyrie got to Boston, it seemed like he was more so.
This is my team. I'm man. Right.
Right. So it depends on how he is going to be able to mesh with that. And for me, he left Boston. I mean, he left Cleveland to have his own team. You're not about to have your own team again, bro.
No, you're not. Yeah, and that's the thing, because you're going to be second fiddle. To a healthy Kevin Durant, you're a second fiddle. So why, so people are going to be like, so why'd you leave Cleveland? If LeBron was pretty much as good as KD,
or why did you go back to the Lakers?
Oh, yeah, either or. That was the topic, too. But speaking about the Lakers and speaking about our last topic of our finale show, Mr. Kawhi Leonard, him being a free agent, just really fast, Rome, what's your prediction on where he lands? And based on that prediction, what do you think his future is in the NBA?
I don't want him, but my prediction is that he's probably about 90% a Laker right now, for sure. I just think that there's a couple obvious details that they're probably working out in terms of how long he's going to play there, money, maybe him taking a little less money initially so they can sign other guys and then re-signing again. I think they're trying to work that out right now. But for the most part, I think it's a done deal. The second part was his future in the league or with the team?
Well, the team.
They better. I mean, if he signs with the Lakers, I expect
they better win the title next year.
I expect Bron to do a 3-peat his last 3 years with the Lakers.
Yeah, that's possible.
And if that does happen, because the last team to do a 3-peat was the Lakers, the last team that even went to 3 straight finals, well, that could have did it was the Lakers in 08, 09, and 010.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's do it again.
Let's do it.
That's all I got.
I'm with you. I think he's a Laker. I kind of believe Broussard and Stephen A. on those reports. Him joining the Lakers. But as I said, if he gets signed, that's $0 million. That's $0 million. I got $0 million in my bank right now. $0 million left to sign people, which means you're signing for the minimum. You're signing guys like, Iguodala is probably the best guy out there you can get for that $1.5 million. DeLon Wright's out there. Other guys too. Maybe a lot of guys from last season, a Rajon Rondo, a Lance Stevenson, guys like that. So it'll be intriguing. I don't know, man.
I do not want Rondo again. Like, that's my boy. I love Rondo to the death. Me, one of my favorite point guards ever to play this game, probably.
Right.
But boy, he missed like 36 games, and I don't need that.
Oh man.
I don't. So, yeah, I'm the same with you. That not having any money to sign other people hurt.
It does hurt. Yeah, it will.